Okay, bro, so this is gonna be my fourth time trying to record this. Third time the video was so good, but I got a call, and for some reason, TikTok saved the first draft that I had. I had it already deleted that draft before even recording this third one. And I was so close to being done recording the video with that third draft. But anyway, we're here now. In this video, if you can't tell by the three people in this backdrop, I'm talking about the love triangle between Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan. And while I feel like we do not need to focus on this storyline where we're at right now on Stranger Things, but I think I gotta say all in this video, I already know what you gotta do. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things. Stranger Things fans, y'all know Volume 2 is coming out soon. So if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. I got a lot of Stranger Things content on the way. Now with that said, in the third recording I have for this video, I broke down Steve and Nancy and Jonathan's relationships up until this point. I don't feel like doing that right now. What I really want to focus on in this video is why there's really no point in entertaining this love triangle storyline at this point in the series. Yes, I do understand that Nancy and Jonathan's relationship at this point in time is not as strong as it has been in previous seasons. You know, they're affected by long distance, their ambitions and goals aren't the same as they once were. So by the end of season 4, it's not really clear exactly what direction the relationship is going. Meanwhile, Steve remained in Hawkins, so he was able to help fight Vecna alongside Nancy. During this time, Nancy peeped Steve done glue up. Came a long way from when they broke up in season 2. So much so that they got a couple intense moments in season 4. Might lead some fans to believe, yo, maybe Nancy will end up with Steve by the end of the series. We see early on in season 5 that these two men are fighting for the affections of Nancy. They out here climbing radio towers, trying to get the power back on first, which I don't even think Nancy even paid attention to who did it first, just the fact that the power came back on. But yeah, that's the kind of weird shit that Jonathan and Steve are up to in this season so far. Now, my reason for why this love triangle don't even really need to be a thing at this point is for many reasons. For starters, it's just bigger fish to fry right now. I mean, look at what Vecna did in that first episode of season 5. The love triangle storyline just don't fit, especially for Nancy, who's experiencing both her parents in the hospital right now currently, and her younger sister being kidnapped by Vecna. That relationship shit should not even be on her mental right now. The only thing she need to be thinking about is how she's gonna get Holly back and how the hell they go pay them hospital bills after they do that. Reason number 2, y'all talking about this love triangle thing in season 5. We could have just addressed who Nancy was going to be with at the end of season 4, especially knowing that her and Jonathan's relationship were not in the best of places. Meanwhile, her and Steve's friendship was on an incline. So if y'all wanted to do any of this, it should have been in the last season. Just establish who Nancy's going to be with going forward. Both of them are going to be her friends at the end of the day. I don't think either of them is going to fall out with Nancy over her actions. I mean, Jonathan will be pissed, but like, what's he going to do? Not fight to save Hawkins? You came all the way back to Hawkins just for the final season. You did not do anything because Nancy broke up with you. But also, it just felt more relevant to the last season where they're actively going through their issues. Nancy is noticing, yo, Steve actually might be a lot cooler than when we broke up in season 2. As opposed to where we are now, where Vecna is out here tripping. All that lovey-dovey shit gotta take a backseat right now. Third reason is I just don't feel like Steve really needs Nancy as much as Jonathan needs Nancy. After they broke up in season 2, Steve had to basically reinvent himself with the help of his brother Dustin. They both brought out the best in each other over the course of these past couple of seasons, and if you don't believe me, ask Nancy herself. Steve did all out without Nancy's intervention for the most part. Whereas Jonathan and Nancy have shared their best moments as characters in this series on screen together, in my opinion. But I would argue Nancy has had better individual scenes than Jonathan. Nancy is a genuine badass, whereas Jonathan, like, he cool at points, but also not really. Like, I feel like he just needs Nancy more than Steve really does at this point in time. I also feel like, what does this do for the story? This is why I brought up season 4, because we're going to have to basically form vibes between Steve and Nancy and Jonathan and Nancy throughout the remainder of this season to build up to who she ends up picking in the end. Like, it even really matters. Way I could have just did that in season 4. And the last thing I want to say is I feel like Nancy and Jonathan just have better moments on screen than Steve and Nancy personally. I don't think it's crazy to say that. I think the fans would agree. I think Netflix definitely agrees with how much they're promoting Jonathan and Nancy's relationship throughout all of volume 1. So entertaining this love triangle, it just really doesn't do much of anything. Now, what I think they need to do before the end of this season is bring back those vibes between Nancy and Jonathan, because there was really none of that in this last season. Let's be honest. This man Jonathan felt like a whole different character season 4, so it's understandable for Nancy to feel how she did about him by the end of the season. Unsure, uncertain, all of them unworthy. Now it's time for Jonathan to bounce back and really claim his lady for real. End all the love triangle talk, put that Steve shit to bed. I feel like you can do that without it having to be a love triangle thing, because then that kind of demeans Steve in a way. To me, it makes it feel like he needs Nancy in order to be complete, where it's like, no, he's been okay without Nancy for the past 2 seasons. And we've already been building up Nancy and Jonathan for a majority of the series at this point. Yeah, they had one bad season because of long distance. Okay, well then talk about it. Let's figure out how we're going to get through it, because we're back in the same vicinity with each other at this point. Figure out what's going to go on with college, what our futures look like, all that. Instead of introducing this love triangle to revisit a relationship that already ended in season 2. Yeah, Steve and Nancy had a good run. It was real cute for them 1.5 seasons. But my boy has gone through so much growth from then to just go back to an ex-flame. It just feels like he could do so much better than that. But maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe y'all really do want to see them have this little love triangle fiasco. But to me, I feel like it's coming at the cost of the story. And when the story gotta suffer, y'all could put all them other storylines to the back. But yeah, that's just how I feel about this little love triangle situation going on in Stranger Things 5 right now. Y'all leave in the comments, do y'all care about this storyline like that? Do you think we need it? Do you see Nancy actually leaving Jonathan officially to go to Steve? I just feel like at this point in the series, it's no real point in doing that. I feel like it only serves to bring down one of these men in the series' final season. And I don't really like that. I'm not gonna lie. As always, let me know what you think. I've been your host, Jay Suave. We've been entertained. And we go talk soon. Peace out.